Welcome into the Fantasy Football Diagnostics Podcast, where we provide you with your weekly diagnosis of everything fantasy football. Whether it's season-long leagues, dynasty, DFS, or sometimes even IDP, we got you covered all year long. Let's do it. Let's get to it. Welcome into the Fantasy Football Diagnostics Podcast. And of course, as always, I'm your host, John June. And of course, usually always, I got my guy, Greg Penniman. Greg, what's good, man?
What's going on, yo? We're ready for this Monday Night Football game. Should be a really good one. As far as fantasy, though, it was a rough week. I mean, I got Tyreek Hill like 3 times. I don't know how that's possible. I'm only in 7 leagues, and 3 of them, Tyreek Hill was there. So that's an automatic L, pretty much. I think it was 4. I have to check again. It's a bad week, but league assuring people about to be hopefully in second place. We'll see what happens tonight with this matchup. But yeah, Tyreek Hill is just a monster. Yeah, man.
It was a overall another rough week for me, man.
Rough.
And my big my league with my longest standing league, more than 10 years running now. I'm going to be 1-3. I'm the second highest scorer in the league this week. So it is what it is. It happens. There's nothing you can do about it, out of your control. But in the League of Extraordinary People, I'm sitting here down 54 and some change to Jill here. So, I got Darren Waller helped me out last time.
Mm-hmm.
This time I also have Austin Eckler. So, I've always come into this game, same situation. I got Darren Waller, Daniel Carlson, and something on the other side. Last time it was Lamar Jackson. This time it's Austin Eckler. So I like my chances.
I mean, the numbers
18 points a player.
Darren Waller, as long he can go for
Darren
a monster
Waller
game.
Could fall into 20.
Yep.
Austin Eckler could also fall into 20.
Yeah, it could happen. A
lot
of people
AFC
riding.
West games are
wild. I know. It's really hard to call how it's gonna be. Because it could be a divisional defensive game, but it could be like that Chiefs-Chargers game we got last week where it was just a lot of touchdowns. So,
I mean, you've got the Raiders that throw the ball a ton. You've got the Chargers that throw the ball a ton. I think we both took the over, Greg.
Yeah.
I like my chances. I'm not going to lie. I like my chances here. But, Greg, let's jump into the action, man. Week 4. It's almost in the books, man. Obviously waiting on this Monday Night Football game. But as always, we are going to go through the studs. We're going to go through the Jags. Those just the guys. I don't know when I'm going to stop saying that. Maybe some point in week. If week 5, week 6, you don't know, you'll get it when you get it. But anyway, going through each position for those studs and those Jags. Then we will cover some news and some injuries and hit the waivers. Early look ahead to the waivers. So, first up, the QB1 on the week, man.
Patty, let's go.
Patrick Mahomes, 24 of 30, 278 yards, and not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 touchdowns.
Yes.
1 interception here. Added 26 rushing yards. That was good for 31.7 fantasy points. Greg, what were your thoughts here of Patrick Mahomes?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a great classic bounce back for Patty. Only on 30 pass attempts. This man has 5 touchdowns. That's a 17% touchdown rate. That's crazy. Like, it's Mahomes. This is what he does. Great game to be in. I had Mahomes and Hurts just like bam, bam, bam. It was perfect. It was beautiful to see in fantasy if you had like 2 quarterback league for those 2 players. Mahomes with a great bounce back in the win next week, Sunday night against Josh Allen too. Oh, it's going to be a great game.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you know what? I was kicking myself this week, man, because I play the FanDuel Superflex, which really dope. Just check it out. Hashtag not a sponsor. But anyway, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. I was so kicking myself. Like, how did I not think to make that my core lineup for the week?
Yeah. That game had, 72 points? So, yeah.
Yeah. But Patrick Mahomes, you just expect this. We've been saying he's going to go nuclear. We haven't really yet seen that. I mean, he's been throwing like 3 touchdowns a week.
He has at least 3 touchdowns every game. I mean,
Yeah, so I mean, this is what you expect when you draft Patrick Mahomes, the number 2 pick in Superflex, or if you're playing in our Superflex and the league extraordinary people
Get a
where the
five.
weirdest stuff happens, you could be Greg and get him at 5. At 5 people in a Superflex,
Crazy.
5.
Crazy.
Oh. But what am I complaining? I got Lamar Jackson with like the 9th pick. So anyway, moving on to the QB2 here. Sam Darnold. Sammy Dimes.
Sammy Dimes. Yes, sir.
26 of 39, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 35 rushing yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Ooh.
Sam Darnold has rushed for 5 touchdowns in 2021. He rushed for 5 as a New York Jet. He has 3 300-yard games in Carolina. He had 4 in his career as a New York Jet. Just saying what I'm saying. And I don't know if it means something to you. I don't know. But anyway, Greg, what do you think of Sam Darnold putting up 31.5 fantasy points in this one here, finishing the QB2 on the week? What are your thoughts?
He's been a French QB1 all year. I mean, we mentioned last waiver wire to Pod to go grab him. Like, the matchup was good, and just for season long, I think he's gonna have this, especially now if he's producing this rushing floor. That just brings it up another level. If he continues to do this, but even then, like, this man should still be a person that you got to add. I mean, he's still only 30% rostered, so this percentage has got to keep going up. Hopefully, he keeps getting more hype, more clout. Got Philly next week, so.
Yeah, man. Sam Darnold has been, I know you called him a fringe QB1. I'm looking it up now because I know he's been up there.
Yeah.
I think he's been because he's been like a top 5 quarterback almost he's definitely top 5 quarterback the last 2 weeks.
Right.
He's been a QB1 for sure. I don't know why I can't find this, but Sam Darnold is the QB5 right now before these games kick off here. Obviously, this last game, Derek Carr probably could catch him, and as could Justin Herbert, who I don't know why his name escaped me, but obviously, Sam Darnold's a QB5. I mean, if he's still on waivers, I think, like you said, with that rushing floor that he's bringing, the fact that this was the first time that we had seen Carolina in negative game script, something that I had mentioned before the week too. We'll get to the receivers in a little bit. Robbie Anderson had 11 targets. Nothing came of the 11 targets really, but we saw some more upside in this offense than maybe we might have been used to. Mm-hmm. Moving on to the quarterback 3, Greg, your quarterback start of the week here, Matt Ryan, 25 of 42, 283 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Did add a 17-yard rush as well. That was good for 29 fantasy points. What were your thoughts here on your start of the week, Greg?
Oh, man, all I say is thank you, Cordell Patterson. And thank you, Washington football defense. I mean, we coming into it, this is a defensive target in that secondary. They just had been pretty bad in the secondary. It's crazy to see how like they transform. I don't know, like how it's wild. I can't. It's like
overnight they just became a bad defense again.
Yeah. So I mean, definitely a defense you got to attack with quarterbacks and wide receivers. Again, thank you, Cordell, man. Woo.
Oh, that's the guy we'll talk about in a little bit for sure. But the rounding out this top 12 here, man, Jalen Hurts, my quarterback start of the week, coming in at 4. Taylor Heinecke, my quarterback streamer of the week, coming in at 5. Dak Prescott, 6. Daniel Jones, 7. Aaron Rodgers, 8. Kyler Murray, 9. Russell Wilson coming in at 10. Joe Burrow coming in at 11. And then Trey Lance.
In a half, yo. In one half.
Football coming in as the QB 12. Greg, what were your thoughts here on this top 12, man?
Beautiful. This is what when we were like hyping up, Justin Fields, all that, everything. This is what we thought was gonna happen. The Trey Lance game, basically, like getting you the floor, just coming in, being instant. Got 7 carries for 41 yards. Like, yeah, Trey area, man. I'm here for it.
Nah, man. I mean, definitely Trey area. I mean, I hope Jimmy G's okay, but I'm not mad that the Trey Lance era has started sooner than we thought. And that's the beauty of it, right? Because you referenced Justin Fields, and there's no doubt in my mind that if Justin Fields is in San Fran, that we see that same stuff.
Yep.
And that's why Matt Nagy is the problem here.
Yep.
Like,
crazy,
it's
man.
clear as day. But Trey Lance, I'm sure we're going to talk about it. If he's available on your waivers, you need to go get this man ASAP.
ASAP.
But Jalen Hurts, man. I mean, obviously, I came into the year. He was my breakout quarterback. He is the quarterback 3 right now.
Ooh.
He's getting better as a passer. He's completed 66% of his passes, which last year completed, I think, 52% of his passes last year. But is up at 66%, has 7 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. Also added 226 rushing yards. He's been everything that we thought he would be through the first 4 weeks here of the NFL season.
Yeah, absolutely. Just that completion percentage helping him with Devontae Smith. He's a dog, man. So helping that completion percentage out a lot. Kenneth Gainwell, guys like him. They have a lot of good playmakers on the team. So the Eagles are building the right way.
Yeah, man, definitely. And then, another guy we got to talk about is a guy that we've talked about here a lot, on the show, is Taylor Heinecke, man.
Yes, sir. He's here to stay, man.
Again.
He's here to stay.
He's definitely here to stay, man. I mean, also, comes through, adds some rushing yards here. 43 rushing yards for Taylor Heinecke. We knew that this was a part of his game, but the passing has been great. He's surrounded by great weapons in Terry McLaurin. I mean, Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, Curtis Samuel's getting back into the fold as well. So I think arrows only pointing up here. I mean, he's not going to play Atlanta every week, but I think Taylor Heinecke has played well enough through, 5 NFL games that we've seen, and I've yet to say Taylor Heinecke played poorly. So
right. Yep, he gave his team a chance to win in every game. They got the dub this week, and with the bad defense, he's still holding it down. So that's good.
Definitely, man. And then some honorable mention guys, really just Taysom Hill, because someone started Taysom Hill, right?
Superflex, yeah. I mean, that's always you're struggling.
Well, that brings up an interesting point, right? I think at that point, I'm just not playing the Saints quarterback, right? Or not the Saints quarterback. Would you rather? I'd rather just play a position player at that point, right? I'd rather just play a wide receiver, because at least I know, I don't know when the week is that Taysom Hill is going to score 20 or 2 rushing touchdowns.
Right, but then last week he also did well too. Actually, he was in usage as a receiver, or what he was. He got 6 for 32 and a touchdown last week. So, yeah, it's crazy. I don't understand. As the Saints still more and more lose games, though, it might be at times too. I don't know.
And Alvin Kamara just continues to just get the rock forever. So, we'll talk about that in a little bit as we talk about the running back position. But Greg, let's take it to some of these Jags, man. Tom Brady, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield. The Tom Brady one was shocking, right? Because you're thinking he's going up against New England, he's going to score a ton of points. But it didn't occur to me until right before kickoff that I'm well, but Belichick has seen him in every single practice Brady's ever had in his life, right? So any other Jags here for you?
No, I think the major one's probably just Baker. It was one of those weird off Baker games that you just said last year, the beginning of last year. That's what we were seeing of how many times you try to reel me back in with Odell, and now I see what I thought. I was they can't connect. How long has it been? This is year 3, year 4. Why can't they just connect on the deep ball? You and me connect on deep balls. That's easy. I don't understand why they just can't connect. He threw it I don't really.
That was 100% Baker, bro. Yeah, 100% Baker.
Oh man,
100%.
But it usually is. It's never Odell gets open. Oh man, yo, it's crazy, yo. It's just gonna be capped. He had 133 air yards, Odell, and.
The air yards are going to be there because he eats up over 50% of the team's air yards. So,
wild, man.
I might go buy some Odell after this. After this pod.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But let's move on to the running back position, man. And tell me if you had this predicted. Cordell Patterson, the number 1 running back on the week. I mean, we could talk about him amongst the wide receivers too, because he is listed there on some platforms because he was the number 3 wide receiver. But purely for our show here, we will talk about him as the number 1 running back. 6 carries for 34 yards, no touchdowns, but adds 5 catches on 6 targets for 82 yards and 3 touchdowns. 34.6 PPR points there. Greg, what were your thoughts on Cordell Patterson?
His year is crazy because he's doing this on a very low snap count still. Like, he is highly efficient right now. And we picked him up in week 2 in one of our leagues. He's I think a great waiver wire ad of the year so far. You got to keep riding this hot hand, and you have to. He's such a great football player. He's always been a great football player. So now the fantasy stats are coming through. Got the Jets next week. Like, you got to keep riding this hot hand.
I am so happy to see Cordell Patterson playing football and being utilized in an offense. I mean, this is what his role should be, right? This is what it always should have been. I think the Patriots, they tried to do it. They did it almost perfectly, using him as a running back and a little bit as a receiver. But the way Atlanta's doing it right now, where he's not just a running back, but he'll line up in the slot. He'll line up out of the backfield and run routes. And he's just a mismatch weapon because when he gets into the open field, he is almost impossible to tackle. He is so big and so strong and so elusive.
Crazy.
That he's like a touchdown scoring machine. I mean, he's so used to scoring touchdowns from 100 yards away that now it's just like, oh, hey, let's just give you 30 yards.
He's like year 10. He played 30% of the snaps. This is insane. This is crazy.
I mean, he's been one of my favorite. I have him in a few leagues, and he's been one of my favorite players to roster because he gives you talk about and you know how I work, Greg. You know how my brain operates, and I look at my lineup as a puzzle, and we preach you have to have the latest starting guy in your flex or the earliest. Cordell Patterson gives you so many. I'm setting the lineup with him is okay, well, he's actually one of my running backs is playing later, so I have to put him at running back. I can't put him at wide receiver or flex. It's actually really dope with him, just to have him on your team. And I hope this keeps going, man. But if not, I also I can lean on my guy Saquon Barkley, who finished as the RB2 with a phenomenal game here for your New York Giants. 13 carries, 52 yards, a touchdown, a game-winning rushing touchdown here, but also added 5 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown, 29.6 PPR points. Greg, what were your thoughts here watching Saquon get this dub for the G-Men?
Yeah, it was beautiful to see. Even one of those targets, he was lined up out wide. Imagine using Saquon in the right way. It's just crazy. It's so easy. It's so easy putting him out in space, not just running up the middle the entire time. Even with the calls of Jason Garrett, he still pulls through, gets you this RB2 performance. Saquon is fully unleashed, man. I mean, week 3 was the takeoff. It's just now he's in the air and he's only going higher.
Yeah, man, definitely. There are a couple leagues that I wish I had some more Saquon stock, but it is what it is. Moving on to the number 3 running back on the week, Derrick Henry, 33 carries.
I mean, we called it. We said 40, but that was a little hyperbole, but still, it was close. He got 35.
I mean, we had some OT in there, so that definitely helped.
True.
But 157 rushing yards and a touchdown here. 2 catches for 20 yards. 25.7 PPR points. Greg, what were your overall takeaways of Derrick Henry?
Volume is king. That's the rule. That's the one of the
King
main rules.
Henry it is.
King Henry, yeah. King Henry it is. Yes, sir. Yes, that's what it comes out to. You give one of the best players in football the ball 35 times. This is what's going to happen. That's really, it's easy.
Yeah, Derrick Henry through 4 games has.
Yeah, what is his on touch pace like? Is it over 600?
He has 113 touches. It's only been 4 games. So that's a 16-game pace. Remember, we play 17.
16. Yep.
It's a 16-game pace of 452 rush attempts.
That's rush attempts. He's getting targets now.
Attempts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's getting. Oh, by the way, and then 60 targets on top of that. Oh, the man's about to touch the ball 500 times.
Oh, I thought that Le'Veon Bell year when he was on Pittsburgh was insane. Now he might just blow that out the water. Crazy.
So he's on pace for 2,500 yards from scrimmage.
Now they'll have to roll that back soon. I mean, if anyone could do it, it's Derrick Henry, but I know the Titans don't got no receivers. They don't have to roll that back soon.
I think you just go out and trade for Derrick Henry. Right?
He defies the laws of logic. Him and Brady, man. It's crazy.
All right, man. Let's talk about the RB. Well, rounding out this top 12 here. David Montgomery, the RB4, Najee Harris 5, Kenneth Gainwell 6, James Robinson 7, James Conner also tied for 7, Jonathan Taylor 9, Ezekiel Elliott 10, Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming in at 12. I guess technically. Well, Chase Edmonds comes in at 12 because we had a tie. So, Greg, overall thoughts on this top 12 here?
Yeah, good to see some familiar faces in here. Zeke again, 2 straight RB1 weeks. Love to see that. JT getting that RB1 week that we wanted. 19 touches. So that's beautiful to see. And Nyheim Hines didn't have such a good game, so hopefully, it kind of starts trending the motion up for JT.
I still wanted JT to get the ball more. Like, seriously. It was I mean, they were winning 27-17. It was still a relatively close game. I still felt like I want you see the 114 touches Derrick Henry has. Like, I want those. I give those to JT. Like, why can't we have that?
6 years younger, 5 years younger. I know. It's crazy. And check Clyde, yo. Let's go, my man. Clyde, yo. 2 straight 100 yards.
Sell. I'm selling. I am selling Clyde, bro.
Oh man,
they don't need him. Like they
don't.
They don't need him.
I'm here for the shovel passes in the red zone.
The last 2 weeks were good matchups, right? We knew when we said play Clyde. Like, I know you don't want to play him, but these are good matchups, so play him.
I'm ready to sell. I mean, I'm down to sell too. Like, Clyde, they don't need the potential of this team is to throw the ball. Like Tyreek Hill, the Kelce's, Mahomes, they're still emphasizing on the pass game. So like the cap, if you can get someone that's had a 0 RB team, really desperate, Clyde would be the move to move.
Greg, let me ask you a question here. Hypothetically speaking, asking for a friend. Let's say you had Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell. Who would you play each week?
Who would I play each week? That's tough. I mean, that's if you have both of them, can you trade like Miles Sanders and then just start getting Kenneth Gainwell?
Dynasty League.
Oh wait, you should have enough spots to start both of them then. I think I'm gonna go with
Kenneth Gainwell averages 11.7 PPR points, while Miles Sanders averages 10.1.
That's nasty. I mean, ADP game is easy. It's Kenneth Gainwell. So I guess moving forward, his usage is probably safer because he's a reception guy. Like 6 targets last week. Yeah, it's trending up.
10 touches to Kenneth Gainwell's. Well, 10 opportunities to Kenneth Gainwell's 11.
Okay, yeah.
And Kenneth Gainwell 8 targets for 6 catches. Like, bro.
Yeah, 6 receptions.
Bro,
right.
I was so mad. I played Miles Sanders over Kenneth Gainwell.
That's tough. You have to make that decision every week.
Yeah,
that's real tough. I'm glad they put him out there. He's basically a running back playing slot receiver playing running back because
100%.
Get Greg Ward off the field, man. Play Kenneth Gainwell every play at the slot, like
100%. It's just funny because we were talking about this off air not too long ago that Kenneth Gainwell played at Memphis and he was the reason why Antonio Gibson wasn't the starting running back. But then, like, Antonio Gibson was like a wide receiver, like slot player, and he goes into the NFL and he's like strictly a running back. And then Kenneth Gainwell goes to the Eagles and he's like strictly a receiver. I just think that stuff like that is funny.
It is crazy.
But Gibson's stat line, I feel like you can predict it almost every week. It's like 14, somewhere between like 14 and 19 touches for 70 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, RB2. That sounds like a RB2 to me right there. I mean, the Antonio Gibson, as long as JD McKissic's there, like the RB1 season's done. Like our JD McKissic is not only he's a good football player, so like they need him, they use him. So 2-minute offense is JD McKissic time. So like and late game situation, it seems like time is JD McKissic. So
but this defense is not the defense it was last year, right? So like they are going to be constantly put in these situations.
Yeah.
Because they can't stop teams from scoring on the other side.
Yeah.
Which makes me nervous about Antonio Gibson here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So from a redraft perspective, and he's currently in fantasy points per game, he's the RB21. And I mean, obviously that includes Christian McCaffrey, but obviously, still RB21 averaging 13.5 PPR points. He's only got 11 targets through 4 games.
Yeah, it's tough. This is a person that we like. He's a keeper in one of my leagues. Like this is what guy like you wanted to build your roster around. We thought so. Yeah, it's definitely
from a keeper league perspective or dynasty perspective, it is what it is, right? But coming into redraft, this is why I wasn't as high on Antonio Gibson coming into the year as I was last year, because last year was about the price. Like we were getting Antonio Gibson for free. So for me at that point, like that's fine. But this year, like I didn't want Antonio Gibson, over some of these other guys that have a high, like DeAndre Swift. Like I was going to take Swift over Gibson every opportunity I had because of the pass catching opportunity there with Swift. And you're not getting that with Gibson right now. And it's just, something to still pay attention to. But talking about some honorable mentions here. J.D. McKissic, Leonard Fournette. It's looking like the running back to roster in Tampa Bay. Kareem Hunt again, finishing as a top 15 running back and stealing all of Nick Chubb's touchdowns. Darrell Henderson injury. And some of the Jags on the week, man, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, who obviously played on Thursday, Nick Chubb, who was my start of the week, Mike Davis, man, 13 carries for 14 yards. I mean,
that was horrible. I mean, all I hear is more Cordell Patterson. 30% of the snaps, and he's doing this. Like, come on, man,
his snaps have gone down every week. So
who are they playing? Wayne Gallman, like.
Well, Wayne Gallman was active for the first time this week. So, yeah, I would really like to know who they are playing. But give those snaps to Cordell Patterson.
Yes,
sure.
Yes, please.
Miles Sanders did not come through this week. Chris Carson, your start of the week, apparently is in a timeshare with Alex Collins. Who knows?
Gosh. Oh,
DeAndre Swift did not get all of the touches that we were promised from Dan Campbell. Chuba Hubbard failed to come through as the CMC replacement there. Myles Gaskin.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, he's looking like RB bust of the year easily. Like, I know I heard the warnings before, but I don't know if it was going to be this bad. Like, yeah, so it might be Dumpsville season for Gaskin.
I mean, 2 carries, 3 yards, only played on 12. Who played the snaps? Who was the running back?
I could check Salvin Ahmed's stats, but I don't think it would have been
Malcolm Brown.
Just a mix of all of them. Like, I mean, don't know who they're playing. Ahmed only played 10% of the snaps.
Don't tell me they gave Malcolm Brown all the work. 67% of the snaps to Malcolm Brown.
Yep, and that's never going to be a good day for Malcolm Brown, no matter how much work you give him. So I don't.
They're
I don't know
gonna trade for like Marlon Mack. They're like, look, Marlon, look at all these opportunities that are here for you.
I'm mad Marlon Mack asked for the trade and then they gave him 10 carries. Like they gave him work because it's crazy. It's wild, yo. Like
it's like, all right, we'll give you more work to show teams what you can do. And then oh wait, never mind. Yeah. See, this is the part that irks me, right? Like how do those 10 carries not go to Jonathan Taylor?
Word. That's all it takes. Just ask for a trade to get work. Like, well, yo, what's up with that?
Like JT, the last 2 weeks, 6.4 yards per carry, 26 touches in 2 weeks.
With the juiciest matchup a running back I asked for too, against Miami, like doesn't get any better.
Maybe the knee is an issue potentially. We never know. He was on the injury report. There was some fluid buildup, they said, but he's got Baltimore, then Houston. Like, hopefully they start coming in bunches, especially with JT. But it's been hurtful for sure. And then Nyheim Hines, like when you start him, he decides to like not do anything. But then when you bench him, he's gonna score like
just goes off. Yep. That sounds like Nyheim Hines right there. Classic fantasy output.
All right, let's move on to this wide receiver group, man. And the number one wide receiver on the week, I was trying with all of my heart and soul to trade for Tyreek Hill in my redraft leagues this week because I knew this was coming. Tyreek Hill had gone way too long without going off. He just doesn't not go off.
How many went off in the first game?
Yes. And then 2 consecutive games of not going off is, I'll let you in on a little secret to leave extraordinary people. I was trying to work a deal with our friend Shivan. I was trying to flip Amari Cooper and some change for Tyreek Hill. It just didn't work out. But ends up the number one wide receiver on the week. 11 catches, 12 targets, 186 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. 47.6 PPR points. What were your thoughts, Greg?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, definitely help Mahomes, but yeah, I was on the opposite side of 3 of these matchups, so I'm not happy about it. I love Tyreek Hill. He's a great guy. He really gave me some L's, and I've never had Tyreek Hill on a team, so I just realized I need to just flip the script. I need to draft Tyreek Hill one year. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's finally gonna help me get my first win in our League of Extraordinary People Dynasty League. So I was definitely grateful to have him there. So, and I've got him in a couple other Dynasty leagues too. So, yes, I've got some Tyreek Hill. Let's just say that. Let's just put it that way. But moving on to wide receiver 2 on the week, and this one hurt, man, because he put a dagger in my soul in the League of Extraordinary People where I might be losing, but we'll see. But Deebo Samuel, 12 targets, 8 catches, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns where Jamal Adams just pointed at him. 35.7 PPR points. Greg, what were your thoughts here of watching Deebo Samuel?
Yeah, this low-end wide receiver 1, producing wide receiver 1 numbers, especially first 3 out of the 4 weeks. Like, this man has been balling. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it kind of shifts with Trey Lance. I don't think it'll be affected too much. He was still involved with Trey Lance in the game. Yeah, I like Deebo Samuel. I like him as even if you still want to buy him, people think that it might not be sustainable. I think it is.
No, it's definitely sustainable when you look at the target share. I mean, he's seeing a monster target share coming into this week. He was seeing over, almost 40% target share for this San Francisco offense, and he's currently the wide receiver 4 in PPR league scoring and PPR points per game. So definitely want all of the Deebo Samuel that you can get. And it hurts because, part of me is like, well, Brandon Ayuk, but Deebo Samuel's playing so good that you can't even say anything about it. So it is what it is ultimately. But the wide receiver 3 on the week, which this one makes me very happy, DJ Moore, he's back.
He is so back.
12 targets, 8 catches, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also got in on a rush attempt for 6 yards, 31.9 PPR points. He's the wide receiver 5 on the season right now in PPR scoring. Greg, what were your thoughts on watching DJ Moore out there?
It's beautiful to see. Doesn't matter what type of game they're in. DJ Moore is going to be that guy. Right now, so safe as a wide receiver. Wide receiver 1 season. We said about a couple weeks ago, you got to keep rolling that and treat him as such. Like, this man is a top 10 play every week.
No, DJ Moore has been balling, man, and it makes me happy to see because he's definitely been one of my favorite wide receivers in the league, and I like to see him succeed and do well. That second touchdown was dope, too, because they put him in at running back. They have him run that angle route, and he's just, like, wide open for a touchdown. Joe Brady's awesome. So
Yes.
gotta love that fact that DJ Moore is attached to him. And then the wide receiver 4 in the week, you said it. It is October.
It's October.
Scary season.
Yes, sir.
Scary Terry McLaurin coming in as the wide receiver 4. Deontay Johnson. I mean, it wasn't quite 10 targets. It was 13. But coming in as a wide receiver 5.
Some target monster, bro.
Randall Cobb coming in as a wide receiver 6. Corey Davis 7. Van Jefferson 8, Tyler Boyd 9, Justin Jefferson coming in at 10, Khalif Raymond 11, and Devontae Smith coming in at wide receiver 12. Greg, what were your thoughts here on the top 12 wide receivers?
Yeah, definitely always love to see Terry McLaurin, the people's wide receiver in there for sure. Deontay, target monster. And yeah, that late dart throw for Van Jefferson, was able to get that for people that like in deeper leagues. Van's been, doing slightly good for you, getting week 1 and week 4 now. For a third receiver on the team, like that's solid production.
Yeah, man, definitely. And I will shout out my guy Corey Davis here, coming through with a big week. Actually wrote about Corey Davis in one of my articles, my player prop articles. So I was happy to see him hit on some of that this week and come through in fantasy. So
yeah, keeping you alive and leaving extraordinary people for sure.
Definitely, man, definitely for sure. So we'll see if I can get this dub. Deontay Johnson kept it alive too. So I got the wide receiver 5 and a wide receiver 7 in here.
That's
so
nice.
Let's move on to some of these Jags, man. Let's talk about these honorable mentions. Sorry. And there's always a lot at wide receiver because, it's wide receiver. But some guys I wanted to stick out because they might have some long-term relevance. Well, obviously Hollywood has long-term relevance. Just, had to shout him out by name.
Caught the ball. Yes. Caught it.
You did your job. Congratulations.
Let's go.
Jameson Crowder coming through, 7 targets. I don't know why I was sleeping on Jameson Crowder. Maybe it's because all this Corey Davis and Elijah Moore. But, Jameson Crowder walked in and immediately, was a top target here for Zach Wilson. So be on the lookout for that. Darnell Mooney.
Oh, man.
I mean, will it go away? We don't know because Matt Nagy's, he's.
I know. It's
for some reason.
It's so frustrating. The moment you get rid of Mooney, he comes through. If Matt Nagy continues to make Andy Dalton the starter, the Mooney days are probably behind us. We shall see. We don't know, but I would stash him because anything can happen. This situation could be very volatile. We don't even know Andy Dalton's health situation. Jacoby Myers, he threw 2 passes yesterday, but also came through as a receiver. This dude has yet to score a touchdown. He's yet to score a touchdown in his NFL career. So, which is kind of wild seeing how he led the team in targets last year. He leads the team in targets again this year. How he hasn't scored a touchdown through 2 years is just going to start putting that bet in every week, right? It's got to happen at some point. Yeah, it's got to happen.
The next guy I want to talk about is a guy that I kept bringing up on the show, Cadarius Tony.
I mean, he got the targets. Definitely got the targets. That was there.
Yeah, saw 9 targets.
Yeah.
I think he was a top 30 wide receiver on the week.
Yeah, 6 for 78. I mean, they finally used him. I mean, it's good to see that. I mean, it took the whole roster being hurt to do it, but like, we're here. We're here.
Question is, do they continue to use him?
That
he
is
was the wide receiver
great
28
question.
on the week, 13.9 PPR points, 9
Top 30
targets,
play.
6 catches, 78 receiving yards. I mean, I like it. It sounds like a good stat line. He looked good too.
No, yeah, he did. He did look. I mean, it was a great prospect. So, they got Dallas next week. I mean, yeah, I mean, as long as Trey Diggs is not on you, you're gonna be fine. I think so.
Right, Trey Diggs is outside receiver.
On Kenny Galladay.
He might be on Kenny Galladay.
Yeah. I think as a dart play deeper league guy, I'm not all formats. I'm not there for all formats yet, but I'm there for some deeper leagues.
Yeah, some deeper league PPR leagues. I mean, if you're playing in like those 3 wide receiver, 2 flex leagues, like we play in the League of Extraordinary People.
Yeah. Oh, and shout out to the fact Gronk being out helps AB the most. That's all I gotta say, man. AB is gonna get all those underneath targets. He got 11 yesterday.
So I realized something yesterday. I think that it's always going to be an AB week, but it's either going to be a Mike Evans or a Chris Godwin week. Like you won't have both.
Right. AB's definitely the safest.
Like he's always going to have his targets in those offense are not going anywhere.
He's been the most targeted receiver since he's got there out of all of them, and the fact it's crazy.
No, so I think I would go with saying I want to play AB over any of them because just of the production.
Right.
All right, let's go on to the Jags, man. And Cooper Kupp, man, it had to happen.
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad.
Still got 11.4 points, Yeah,
it's not 30, but
Nah.
Allen Robinson, man, it's just like I don't have to move his name from this list. Like it just sits here every week. Allen Robinson.
Yeah, we didn't want to start him this week, so he's just a bench player at this point until we see otherwise. Is it snip time?
I started him in a league.
You started? Oh,
over Hollywood, man. It was either him. Yeah, I know. I was so mad. It was either him or Hollywood. Yeah, it was upsetting. It's okay.
Dang. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we throw that away and we move on.
I just I don't think we could snip him, right? Because it's not like the quarterback situation is so bad that he can't overcome it, right?
No,
It's not like the coaching is so bad that he can't overcome that either. I think if Andy Dalton plays, it's probably better for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? If Andy Dalton plays, it's probably better for him right now. If Justin Fields plays, it'll probably still be rough for a little bit, but I think eventually it'll hit. But I just don't know when. It might take.
Yeah.
It might be week 5, like weeks 5, 6, could be week 8, could be week 12. I have no idea. But the offense is too good. Hey, maybe he demands a trade. I don't know. That'd be really nice.
If you drafted him as your wide receiver 1, probably and I mean that probably means your running backs are pretty good. I would think. Hopefully, you got Cordell Patterson on your team. That's all I gotta say.
I do have Cordell Patterson on that
there
team.
You go.
But it's 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. So I was kind of in a pickle. And it's like Allen Robinson going up against Detroit. I'm like, matchup wasn't great, but it was either, whatever. No points is crying over spilled milk. I will just try to trade my Allen Robinson. Greg, let's move on. Well, let's talk about the rest of these Jags. But CeeDee Lamb, this is 2 weeks in a row now. I would go buy me some CeeDee Lamb.
I agree.
Brandon Ayuk. I think this is probably more of a function of Jimmy G not being in the offense. But I'm curious to see what happens going forward with Trey Lance in the offense. Greg, what are you doing with Brandon Ayuk? I'm not going to answer this question, so you have to tell the people what to do.
Still a bench player. I can't see myself dropping Brandon Ayuk in leagues, but like at some point his name can't carry him that long. Like I dropped Darnell Mooney with a heartbeat, and he's putting up this, the same numbers and stuff. Like the name is definitely holding him, getting his clout up. It's tough right now. I think I would probably still give him one more week to see how he is with Trey, and then if it's not there, then he's definitely a snip candidate.
Yeah, I mean, he's approaching snip candidacy for sure. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna give it. I might be liable.
I might be more Trey and then go. Yeah,
I might be more liable to hold on to him because that's just me. But if it's at the point where it's a win or it's Ayuk, you know what I'm picking.
Mm-hmm.
Picking a win, and 2 targets, no targets, 2 targets, 6 targets, 3 targets. Only played 67% of the snaps yesterday.
Yeah, the target number was trending up, so you thought we'd get another 6 target day.
And the
maybe.
snap number was trending up too.
Oh, yeah. So we need to see this full game. I think we need to see a full game with Trey. That's what we need to see.
So we saw Trent Sherfield play yesterday, and there's part of me that feels like Trent Sherfield plays in the Trey Lance offense. And that's something that we need to find out. Because if next week Ayuk is playing or Trey Lance is starting and Ayuk is only playing like 50% of the snaps, then we might have a problem.
Oh, huge problem. Yeah.
So Robbie Anderson, 11 targets, didn't come through. I know I said I think he could be a wide receiver 2 this week. The process was right. The result was not. So Cortland Sutton, that one kind of hurt. Adam Thielen did not catch a touchdown pass this week.
Crazy.
Juju Smith-Schuster. Is it Big Ben? Is it him? I don't know, nor do I care, because you shouldn't have Juju Smith-Schuster on your roster. We told you not to.
Yeah. Definitely should have Big Ben on your roster. I just want to see Big Ben's roster percentage, just to see how many people still have him over some of the guys.
I bet you he's still over 50%. He's probably over 60%. Well, actually, social media has been pretty harsh to him, but I still think he's over 60%.
Ben is all right. He's 27%. He's low.
Thank God, people.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. We're here. We're here to. He needs to retire, man. It's time.
Okay, let's move on to the tight end position, Greg. And the number 1 tight end on the week, CJ Uzomah, who played in Thursday Night Football, 5 catches, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns. What are your thoughts there, Greg?
I like it for sure. I mean, he was playing well before he got injured last season injury. So I mean, Joe Burrow does like throwing to the slot, the tight end, middle of the field throws. That's why Tyler Boyd is still getting a lot of action. I think I like him more without a T. Higgins. I think with T. Higgins in, though, I'm not kind of on board for him giving you sustainable success.
Yeah, I like that point with T. Higgins, and then added the fact that like this was a game where we saw Joe Burrow throw the ball more than we have.
Yeah.
And last year when CJ Uzomah was having a good season, the targets volume was really high, or the overall pass attempts were really high, and so there was a small chunk of that pie that he was getting led to still 4, 5, 6 targets, which I don't think he was going to get that each week. But a guy that we have to talk about getting targets each week, Dawson Knox, man.
Yes, sir.
The Buffalo Bills tight end, 8 targets, 5 catches, 37 yards, 2 touchdowns, good for 20.7 PPR points. Greg, what are your thoughts here on Dawson Knox?
Yeah, I'm definitely a believer in him. Definitely tight end. We've brought up for adding on waivers. I think he's got to continue to be looked at for sure. And because Josh Allen's looking for him in the red zone, and that goal zone. If you got a person that's getting red zone targets, especially for a tight end, you want that. So I like him as an ad.
Definitely, for sure, man. And then this next guy, I don't know what it is, man. I just wish that they would just make him a full-time player all the time. But Moe Alley Cox, 5 catches, 5 targets, 3 catches, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. 19.2 PPR points there, Greg. What are your thoughts on Moe Alley Cox?
Yeah, I know it's crazy. Like last year, he played really well in the limited playing time he had. This year, he's getting some action every other game. It's just hard to call. You can't really know when this is going to happen. I mean, they still have yeah. I don't really can't really explain it honestly. His success.
Yeah, I mean, his snap percentage was up to a season high 69% this week. So hopefully that's a trend that can continue for the weeks going forward. I'm a huge Moe Alley Cox fan. I've added him and dropped him from my dynasty league so many times over the years just because I want him to work out. Because like you said, every time he plays, he's on the field, or every time he plays, he's doing something productive or positive or catching a touchdown. So it would be really nice. But rounding out this top 12 here, Dalton Schultz coming in as the tight end 4, who was your stream of the week, Greg. Was that right?
Probably I think last week, but he's on the waiver. He was on the ad. I think my stream of the week this week was Tyler Conklin. Tyler Conklin did get used a lot though. I like his usage. He's playing a lot of high snap percentage, so definitely big ups for him for later year.
Yeah, man. Max Williams coming as the tight end 5. Mike Gesicki coming in at 6. Dallas Goedert 7. Noah Fant, start of the week here, coming in at 7. Hunter Henry coming in at 9. Zach Ertz 10. Mark Andrews 11. And Jonnu Smith rounding out the top 12 here at number 12. Greg, anything here from the tight ends that sticks out to you?
Yeah, it's great to see the Patriots spent the money on these tight ends and actually started, using them. Good to see both of them in the top 12. I guess they were forced to throw. They both got a high, combined for 13 targets. So yeah, hopefully they both get some more usage going down the stretch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Tampa Bay's secondary has been struggling. They've been struggling to stop tight ends as well. So, look forward to continuing to attack them. But let's get these Jags, man. And so Kyle Pitts, man, again on this list. What do we do with Mr. Pitts?
Well, definitely not trading him, but I'm adding another tight end. That's all I gotta say. If Dalton Schultz still out there, I'm adding him, and I'm probably playing him. This time to get you a new tight end. Add him, and if it's a better matchup or if you see something, the numbers are trending. Start over Kyle Pitts. He's a bench prospect right now.
I mean, he's still got 9 targets last week.
Yeah, I mean, he had 9 points. That's a solid tight end day.
You're just not going to win you the week, right? It's
no.
That's the problem. He has yet to catch a touchdown pass. I would probably buy Kyle Pitts, and this is the only reason I'm going to say this. I mean, bro, I probably don't have to pay a lot, right? Because
no, you won't.
Kyle Pitts is on bye next week, right? So they play the Jets this week, and then he's on bye. So there's an opportunity there where Kyle Pitts could either be dropped, or you might be able to just make a trade to get Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a good formula. It's rookies after bye, they start working with them more. That's how the Swift game came after a bye. I remember you calling that. Yeah, so I see that formula happening, but I would like to. If you're in a position where you have a solid tight end, I would, and you still want to maybe up that and that upside, maybe you can go get Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I think you're not gonna have to pay a lot, so it's just an idea there for sure. And I think you could probably get him as a throw-in, right? You go get somebody else, and then you're like, hey, let's, I'll give you my Hunter Henry or Mike Gesicki for Kyle Pitts, right?
Yeah.
So, just a thought, but George Kittle, not the greatest game, was dealing with an injury here, so I have to just continue to monitor him. TJ Hawkinson, I know he was your start of the week here. The matchup was kind of tough a little bit too, for TJ Hawkinson here. So I think you could probably go buy. Did we jinx TJ Hawkinson? Because we said no. We're gonna go pay the price 2 games in a row. It's just nothing. But
8 targets.
Pitts.
Yeah.
T.J. Hockenson.
Yeah, I'm definitely still buying T.J. Hawk because Detroit will always be in these
Negative game scripts.
Games. Yeah, they still got no one to throw to. I mean, Khalif Raymond did have a good game, but you don't know who's going to be that receiver. Still 8 targets, still a great number. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it definitely, if you play against in the leagues where people just do the box score scouting thing, where they're like, oh, he had 4 catches for 42 yards this week and 2 catches for 10 yards last week. Like, take advantage of that. Especially, don't be surprised if you see somebody like a T.J. Hockenson, like a Kyle Pitts, dropped for a guy like Dawson Knox or Dalton Schultz or Max Williams or Mike Gesicki. Don't be surprised if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I would go pounce if that does. Greg, let's move on to waivers. We're going a little over today, but who are the top waiver ads? Let's start with the running back position.
We hinted to Kenneth Gainwell versus Miles Sanders. I think Kenneth Gainwell's got to be the number one ad. He's 29% rostered. Just getting heavy receiver work in last game. 8 targets, 6 receptions for 58 yards. So I think he's going to continue to be used in that hybrid roles at the slot. Hopefully they do, and also getting carries as well. I like him for sure. After that, J.D. McKissic, he's 39% rostered. We talk about his usage just as a good football player and also just as a fantasy player. He's been in that 2-minute offense a lot. He's been down the stretch a lot, and he's going to be continue to cap Antonio Gibson, but his rostership, it should be up there over 50%, I think. After that, Latavius Murray, he's 48% rostered, just under that, but he got the bulk of the load. There were reports that he was going to get that, and he definitely did get the bulk of the load. Got the most carries on that team. Tyson Williams was a healthy scratch on that team. So I think Latavius Murray, if you are a person that was invested in the Ravens backfield, got to go get Latavius Murray. And then for the deeper leagues, guys I want to mention real quick, Brandon Bowden. I think he's kind of, overcame that James White role a little bit, which is nice. Jeremy McNichols as well, getting a lot of targets, especially without these receivers for a short term. If you need someone to get some receptions. And yeah, Alex Collins, if he's going to be getting more carries every week, especially if you're the Carson manager, you need this man on your team. It's a scary season if Alex Collins is getting more carries. Oh, and yeah, Michael Carter's 51%, but it's time. The steam's rolling now. The time to maybe buy to get him is now. The time to maybe, if he's available in your leagues, is to get him is now.
Yeah, man, Michael Carter plays in Atlanta this week, then he's on bye. So, like you said, rookies after the bye tends to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Some we were chasing a little last year. But yeah, I like this running back week, man. J.D. McKissic. Wow, the first guy that you mentioned.
Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, no. Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell, like, if he's in your league, he's got to be the top ad at the running back position for sure, because he's has a role in this offense, a defined role. So I'm all for that. Jeremy McNichols was interesting, man, because that game, like, they didn't have any receivers, and for whatever reason, no idea what it was, but the Jets could not stop a screen pass to the running back for any reason. So the Titans' best play when it wasn't a run to Derrick Henry was a screen pass to Jeremy McNichols. So I don't know how often that happens. But
yeah, this is only with as long as AJ Brown and Julio are out, then
that makes
that's the only way it works.
Sure, because Derrick Henry can't touch the ball 40 times, or can. We never know. Greg, what about this wide receiver position? What's up, man?
You said, I think we got to stop sleeping on him. Jameson Crowder came in right away, and he was a target monster as his career on the Jets when he was on with Darnold, and I think that will continue here. He's only 20% rostered, but if you're looking for a safe PPR flex play, I think Jameson Crowder will develop into that throughout the year. AJ Green, man, he's here, yo. This is now another great week from him. He's been getting used over.
I can't watch him talk about AJ Green as a waiver wire pickup with a straight face. Like, I can't.
Yo, he's got all 4 games. He's got at least 6 targets.
I know. I'm usually the one defending AJ Green, but now it's you. So
it's crazy. You know, Ronald Moore and Christian Kirk, they both like weren't really. Christian Kirk was non-existent. AJ Green's been the best, most consistent complementary receiver to D-Hop. So yeah, he's got to be at, especially with Kyler Murray. And then Randall Cobb, I think they're going to keep using him like that in the red zone. Classic usage of Randall Cobb for a deeper league flex play, especially in PPR leagues. He's there. And then for, you know, the real deep leagues, Van Jefferson, Khalif Raymond, and Cadarius Tony, I think are the guys.
Definitely, man. Let's talk about these quarterbacks, man. It's got to be Trey Lance.
Oh, yeah. Right? It's deep. Yeah, it's real deep this week, but Trey Lance still leads it, 31%. Got Arizona next week, too. Oh, man. Like, that's got game.
Shootout.
Like, ooh, I know. That's what I'm saying. NFC West classic shootout. Like, yeah, you got to love it there. It did finish this QB1.5. That's just all you need to say right there. After that, Daniel Jones got Dallas next week. He's 31% rostered. This man, you know, either he has, even if it looks like a good game or a bad game, he's putting up fantasy numbers right now, like absolute fantasy numbers as a QB1. So you got to continue to ride that hot hand. Sam Darnold's got Philly next week. My man Patty Mahomes just threw 5 on them. So you know that's good. He's only 37% rostered. And Taylor Heinecke, they got New Orleans next week. He's only 10% rostered still. So there's a lot of options at the quarterback position. It's getting a little deep in there.
Yeah, man. And I'll throw one more. Zach Wilson plays Atlanta, so I'm just saying it's Atlanta.
I know, but the London games, yo, be weird, yo. I don't know what to think of London games.
So I just finished talking to my boy Frank. Just tell me about what the Jets are doing. They're chartering out a plane with beds on it, so the players can sleep on the plane.
Ooh, okay.
They're gonna stay on East Coast time. Like, I'm just saying, yeah. So
okay,
Zach Wilson against Atlanta. It's like, you know, 2 quarterback league, streaming league type thing. You know, real deep streamers. I'm
here for the matchup. I'm always here to play Atlanta anytime.
Yeah, right. I want to play against Atlanta. That's really
word.
So, all right. What about tight ends?
2 major names that should be probably ready and added for all formats. Dawson Knox at 40 rev, 7% rostership. Again, another game where he's got a touchdown, 2 touchdowns in this game. And Dalton Schultz, I've been, you know, just continuing to ride him. A name that we brought up since week 1. I think we got to keep bringing him up. It was just a matter of who was going to be the number 1 in this tight end. I want to be a tight end on Dallas. Like, that's what I want. Dak Prescott is going to throw you the ball. Like, he's got to be added. Absolutely,
man. Dalton Schultz definitely has to. All right. Well, with that being said, we'll catch y'all later. Remember, this episode will be on YouTube, but the remaining episodes after this for this week will not be on YouTube, but we will be back on YouTube Monday of next week. Well, whatever that Monday is, the 11th. So we'll be back and regularly scheduled. So no concerns there. But obviously, podcast is not going anywhere. We'll be here. Well, Greg will be here holding it down. Even as we go episode 200, Greg will be holding it down. So I'll be back 201, but not from Jersey. But anyway, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Hope you are still crushing your leagues. Make sure you're checking to see who's been dropped, because that's something that's going to happen a lot. You're going to see some names dropped. Some people were fed up. So Allen Robinson might be there.
Yep. Brian Ayuk, Allen Robinson.
But in all seriousness, have a good one, everybody. We love you. We appreciate you. We are out of here. Peace.
Ciao.